All right, so day 2 is about anger. Mm. this is um this was a very very deep discussion for me because recently me and my mother had a conversation that ended in us calling each other bitches and all of that. Well, her calling me bitches. I wasn't. I didn't. I just hung up on her. I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't disrespect her, but I didn't call her names. From 0 to 13, my mother, not 13, 0 to 10, my mother to me was the best mother ever. I cannot remember a time that I was not taken care of, that I was hungry, that I didn't get what I wanted, that she didn't show me love. She would spend time with me. She would, as far as I can remember prior to that time, my mother was everything that I feel today that a mother should be. Maybe not to other people, but to me as her child, it was great because I didn't have anything to compare to. When my mom got on drugs, and I had a video about her addiction, when she got on drugs, our whole life changed. My life changed, her life changed, and I didn't understand it. Um, During that time, right in the beginning, like the first 2 years of her super deep drug addiction, is when I met my father, 3 years after she was strung out. When I met my biological father. Prior to that, the guy who I thought was my father, um, the most he had gave me in the 10 years was a pair of shoes, I think. And he lived up the street, but he never was around me. Like he had a brother that, would come pick me up, but he died. Um, so it gave me a feeling of I was happy that my mom was a great mother, but he gave me a feeling of that either I wasn't good enough for him. This is when I was a younger, that I wasn't good enough, or why don't you want to be in my life? I see other kids' father doing what they're supposed to do. Why don't you want to be in my life? As I got older, I learned through his conversation with my mother that because I was a feminine boy child, he felt that I was not his child. Now, truth be told, he was right. I was not his child. Um, my mother, I talked about this before. My father is, to this day, a gay man. During his youth with my mother, he experimented with being with a woman, but that was not his truth. During that experimentation, and I don't want to say he's a gay man, he's a bisexual man, but during that experience with the woman, he realized that that really wasn't him. But during that experimentation, I was conceived. Okay? My mother is a homophobic at the time, and even probably today. My mother is a homophobic person. Just that. It just was something that she did not like. When she found out from other people that my biological father was a homosexual, she hated it. She hated that she couldn't see it. She hated that the whole experience. She hated it. And so she made the statement that I don't want a fucking faggot raising my son. And so she, out of spite, she put the other guy's name on my birth certificate as my father and named me after my non biological father, just out of spite. So, years later, when I was 12, my grandmother forced the issue and not force my mother, but convince my mother to tell me the story and share with me who my real father was. Because my cousin, my real father's brother's child, was killed in a car accident, and that kind of brought that together. We met each other, and he flew me to California. Well, he didn't fly me to California, but he bought me a ticket to California. We met. Our personalities clashed because I was young. I could tell that he was a kindred spirit as far as I'm 10, 11. I'm 12 now at this time. Yeah, I was 12, 11. And I know a gay man at the time when I meet one, and he definitely was a gay man. He had just got a divorce from a woman. But we did have personality clashes, but I was young. We just met and it just didn't work out. Came back to visit my mother. My mother was still on drugs. My biological father is an overachiever. He has 3 degrees. He has a business degree, a law degree from Berkeley, California, and a bioengineering degree. All 3. He's a very overachiever, and he's one of those people that is very emotionally detached. So, as I got older, when we would talk, even though he was a gay man, he had an issue with me being a trans because he felt like it wasn't the right decision. He wanted me to just be a gay man, and because he felt like I would get further in life with my success if I wasn't a transgender woman. So we had conversations. He offered to help. He offered for me to come to California once, and we just, build. But at the time, I had just got custody of my brother, and, he didn't want me to. He felt that I shouldn't have took custody of my brother because that's my mom's responsibility. I was too young for that. I should be in school doing what I need to do and let somebody else deal with that responsibility. But in my mind, my brother, it wasn't just in my mind, in reality, my brother had no one else to take care of him. Simple as that. So I had to step up, or my brother would have been on the street or a ward of the state like I was. I want to talk about something that my father did in recent years and my mother did a couple of weeks ago. There's a guy, a trans, he was trans at the time that my father was in cahoots with. My dad was messing around with this transgender person when they were younger. And the transgender person has seen me through my transition because we lived in Indianapolis, and he always looked out for me. It was a trans woman at the time, but he detransitioned and is living as a man now. He hit me up like 4 months ago and was talking to me about, have I talked to my dad? And I was saying, no, I haven't talked to your dad. He was like, well, I've talked to your dad. And he basically came clean and told me, because in the beginning, they didn't tell me that they were messing around. They told me that they were just friends. But he came clean with the whole situation. He basically said that, me and your dad messed around, and I've always discussed him with you. And my dad basically told him that because I'm a trans person, he didn't want that to be a part of his life. That's not the choice that he wanted for me. So he'd rather me stay where I'm at and deal with, let me be over here, and he just live the rest of his life doing what he does doing what he does. He'd rather not even bring that element, the dealing with me being a trans woman, into his life. He hasn't been in my life for 30 years. So what does he need to be there for me now? I'm grown. That's what he basically told him. Honestly, I'm angry about that. That pisses me off. That's not fair. It pisses me off that you're a fucking gay man and you have the nerve to be that ignorant. It pisses me off. My mom recently if you look at the interview with my brother, she said something. I found out that she said something about me being trans when it came to the point of my brother wanting to be with me. Like, my brother wanted me to be his caretaker when my mom went to prison. I was old enough, and she had a problem with me being his caretaker because I was what I was. That pissed me off because how dare you? It made me angry because I felt, how dare you fucking judge me when I'm taking care of your fucking responsibility, bitch. That's it. Just exactly how it made me feel. Bitch, you are on drugs, going to prison, and I'm the one who's the only person who wants to take care of your fucking son, and you're gonna have the nerve to have judge me taking care of your fucking son because I'm a transsexual? It made me angry, and I'm angry right now because it pissed me the fuck off. How dare you? How dare you? You fucking low-life bitch. That's how I feel right now. So, in feeling that, I have all this anger built up about that situation. I was super, super angry at her because I felt she owed me something. You need to get off drugs, get your shit together, and help your children like normal parents do. You need to do this. You need to do that. You owe me. I have stopped my life for you. You owe me this. I am angry that you are not accepting the fact that you owe me this and that you are not giving it to me. And I was angry at her. When I met my dad, my biological dad, I felt that he was going to be the savior of me from this situation with my mother and drugs. If she did not want to give me what she owed me as a mother, then he could step in as my father to give me what he has not, my mother took the opportunity away from him to give me, which is to be a father, and step in and help me accomplish my goals. My goals is in just helping me with school and, all of those type of things. Now I can go back to what I learned from the show. One of the guys said that he uses that anger and those life experiences as a safety net or excuse for his failures. And that's what I was doing. That's keeping it real with myself. That's what I was doing. Because I feel they owe me something, or I feel they need to accept responsibility. I feel they need to get up off their ass and stop being sorry. Stop making excuses. Stop doing this. Stop trying to show me that I'm not good enough because I'm a trans. Stop trying to demean me and my life choices. Stop doing, because I'm trying to get them to stop doing this. It's affecting who I love. It's affecting how I interact with my friends. It's affecting how I deal with the world. And one of the things she talked about, how your past experiences is like a wound. And if you can try to cover it up with drugs and beauty and love and sex and whatever. But if you don't reach in there and heal it, it's just going to stain the rest of your life. And I am in the presence right now trying to figure out how to stop it from staining my life. Every person that I have ever loved has been somebody who I was scared that they were going to abandon me or feel I was not good enough, like my father, or our love was not going to be strong enough to sustain us like my mother, and blah, 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 blah. Do you see what I'm saying? So every one of my relationship has affected that. So it has stained my life experiences. So I am in the process of trying to learn how to get out of that bitterness. Pull that out, pull that anger out of me and move on, heal it, learn how that now I am an adult. When I was younger, I couldn't control things because I was under these people's household and rules and regulations because I was too young. Now I'm an adult under my own household, making my own decisions on how things are going to affect me, how somebody's opinion of me is going to affect me, how someone's actions towards me are going to affect me. Am I going to sit and dwell in the anger and the feeling of resentment and deserving, like I deserve this from you when I'm not getting it? Or I can move on, let it go, and create a reality that is, without that anger, without that resentment. And now moving on and start to love people on being the real me and not the angry me and the scared and fearful me. So that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm at. It's something I got to work on. Forgiveness. I try to forgive, and I talk to my mom, and I don't talk to my dad at all. But it seems like we'll go through months and months of being cool, and then she'll say something that'll just open that wound back up, and I'm like, bitch, you still don't get it. And that anger just said, it just does. So, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and I'm trying to see the blessing in my life. The fact that all those experiences have created the person that you see before you. I feel like I am a good person. I give from my heart. I have affected people's lives. My brother is in college, the class president of his class, and with 4.0. I've affected his life. I've affected other people's lives. And so the blessing in my experiences and sharing my experiences with other people, and how I have affected people's lives, is the blessing. That's the blessing of my life. Instead of me dwelling on the negative, I have to go forward and realize the blessing of my experiences, the friends that I found, the purpose that I found, all of that. So the question for you is, tell me how anger has affected your life. So, like I said before, T.S. Sexy Chanel and Jahira's Mission will be doing this series with me where we're going to be sharing our thoughts about each show that Oprah does. And their links to their 2 new videos about the anger episode is going to be in this area right here. So check it out. This is your girl Diamond. Bye-bye.